Having basic sewing techniques is an important skill to have. One of my earliest memories of sewing was as a small child, my mom would have a sewing room and she used to make me play clothes. As I grew older, my techniques were more towards hand sewing. I was always very nervous to go on the sewing machine to actually make things. So I used to sew little face scrubby sponges. I would also mend a lot of my clothes, whether they had holes or rips or anything like that. Or if the straps were too long, I would shorten them and I would pin it and sew it in place. And eventually, I am new at it sewing, but I took the leap and I started sewing small projects like little Barbie skirts and that kind of stuff. And I started working my way up to sewing shirts and pants. The reason why I believe that it's a good practical skill to have is it allows the sewer, the person who's doing it, to think critically, to think of the pieces that they're going to be using, the fabric that they'll be using, whether it's stretchy or non stretchy, whether it's a little bit more on the stiff side, the how much they were going to allow for seam allowance, and also what colors that were going to be used in the style and the different fashion of it. It's a practical skill for that reason, that you can create your own unique clothing that fits uniquely to you. It also allows the creation of other things like face masks. It also allows the creation of blankets, especially for babies and toddlers. And even gifts for family members. It allows one to be unique and to express that unique artistic side that you have. It is an important skill set because when parents are looking for clothes for children, they tend to grow out of it really quickly. It's really good to know how to sew play clothes and pajamas for small children, toddlers mostly, going into preschool and kindergarten, since they tend to grow very, very quickly and they tend to leave their clothes very quickly. And buying new kids' pajamas and shirts and play clothes tend to be very expensive. An inexpensive option would be knowing how to sew play clothes along with any baby useful things such as swaddling cloths and swaddling blankets, burping blankets. And it allows the child to have something unique that's only theirs because it's the one that their parents have made them. Also, another thing that can be incorporated with sewing is the creation of face masks. It can be the creation of costumes, and it opens up a whole world of exploring that creative side, exploring the things that the artist, the individual who is sewing to create, and it goes along with the critical thinking aspect of sewing, of how to place it, how to draw it out, how to bring the creation together, and eventually one can get so good to the point where they can create almost anything they can think of. They can create costumes, they can create kids clothing, they can create face masks, they can create a myriad of different things. There's so much you can do with sewing, and it all starts off with the basic skills. And that's why sewing techniques, at least the basic ones, is an important skill to have.